Hello everybody, welcome again to the lecture series on signals and systems. Up to the previous class we have discussed about the Fourier series and that can be applicable for the periodic signals. Now we will see about the Fourier transform. Generally, in order to obtain the frequency domain representation for the time domain signals, we go for the Fourier transform. It is a transformation technique which is applied upon the time domain signals to convert into the frequency domain. Okay, and it is applicable for the non-periodic signals and also periodic signals also. And especially we can able to tell Fourier series is for the periodic signals, and for the non-periodic signals Fourier transform can be applicable, and only for the energy signals it can be applicable. For the unstable signals it cannot be applicable. Okay, all these points you have to remember. So here we will derive the Fourier transform formula from the Fourier series formula only. Okay, so here I have taken one periodic signal. Here I have taken one periodic signal. So the time period of this periodic signal is given by capital T seconds. So from here to here capital T seconds is there, and this one is given in the time domain, and for example you consider it is the xt of t. So this is suffix capital T is representing the time period of the signal. Okay, so this is the periodic signal. For this one we can able to apply the Fourier series. And how can you make this signal as a periodic signal? Periodic signal means already we know some pattern has to be repeated for every certain amount of time period. Okay, so here after t capital T seconds this triangle is repeated, and again it will be repeated, and again it will be repeated this side also. So it is a periodic signal. Now we need to make this periodic signal into the aperiodic signal. For that purpose what we need to do means, in case of the aperiodic signal the certain shape has not to be repeated. For that purpose what we need to do, this capital T has to be changed to infinity. Okay, if it is a finite number like 10 seconds and 20 seconds, then this entire waveform is like a periodic signal. In this waveform only if you can able to make capital T is tending to infinity. Okay, I am not telling it is equal to infinity, I am telling it is tending to infinity. Infinity means what? Large number. Infinity means large number or large value. So by tending this capital T towards the large value, then this signal will be converting into this type of signal. We don't know at what time the second triangle pulse will come. Okay, in this side also we don't know at what time the second rectangle pulse, second triangle pulse will come. Okay, this side. So that t value we have taken, it is tending to infinity, then this particular xt of t is converted to x of t. Now we can tell this x of t is the aperiodic signal, and this is nothing but periodic signal. So how to convert this periodic signal into the aperiodic signal means, by taking the time period is tending to infinity, we have converted aperiodic signal into, we have converted periodic signal into aperiodic signal. Okay, so whenever this capital T is tending to infinity, what is happening to the fundamental frequency omega naught is equal to, what will happen to this one? Actually this omega naught is given by 2 pi by capital T. Whenever t is tending to infinity, that means when t is becoming very large value, and in the formula of the omega naught this large value is available in the denominator, so something by large value means it will become the small value, so omega naught will become 0. Okay, omega naught will be tending to 0. Capital T is tending to infinity means omega naught is tending to 0. So in the Fourier series, okay, now also you can able to think it is a periodic signal with capital T is tending to infinity. You can able to visualize like that. Okay, so it is a periodic signal. It is also the periodic signal where we have taken the time period is tending to very large value. Okay, now in the Fourier series we have taken generally periodic signal, periodic continuous signal we have taken in the time domain. Okay, in the time domain this type of signal we have taken. In the frequency domain what is happening? In the frequency domain we got the spectrum, that spectrum is discrete spectrum. That spectrum is the discrete spectrum we got. So periodic signal we have taken, here discrete spectrum we got, and here continuous signal we have taken, here we will get a periodic nature. I am talking about Fourier series only here. This entire thing is about the Fourier series. So in Fourier series, time domain and frequency domain. In time domain, periodic and continuous signal, and in the frequency domain, discrete and aperiodic signal we will get. Okay, whatever the spectrum we are drawing Cn versus frequency, that is a discrete spectrum only we will get at different values of n. So on the x-axis what is there? N omega naught is there in the spectrum of the Fourier series for a periodic signal. Since this omega naught is becoming very less value or nearer to 0, this n omega naught values are very close to each other. If you see the spectrum of the periodic signal using the Fourier series, you will get like this. Okay, this is 0. Here n omega naught is there. So by taking here n is equal to 1, n is equal to 3. Okay, here minus 1, minus 2. Like this, you can able to see some space is there in between these two. Okay, you can see some space is there in between these two. But whenever this time period is going to very large value, this omega naught value is becoming very small value. So that means the difference in between these two will become very small. So these samples or the impulses are coming very close to each other. So whenever these are coming close to each other, we cannot see the discrete nature here. We can see the continuous nature here. Continuous nature. That means this n omega naught, always n is taking the integer value. So here this n omega naught will become the continuous variable like omega. So this is one more important point here. So in order to convert the periodic signal into a periodic signal, we have taken capital T is tending to infinity, so that omega naught is becoming 0. That means very small value. And at that time we can tell this n omega naught, the discrete variable, is becoming to the continuous variable omega. So with this we can able to do the analysis here. So how we can able to do that, you see again. So we have taken capital T is tending to infinity. So omega naught is tending to 0. N omega naught is becoming now omega. It is a continuous variable. So for the signal xt of t, I am taking the Fourier series expression, that is sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity Cn e power j n omega naught into t. And what is the formula for Cn? Cn is equal to 1 by t integral t is from minus t by 2 to plus t by 2 xt of t e power minus jn omega naught into t dt. This is the formula for Cn. Okay, so whenever t is tending to infinity, this formula will be modified now. So this Cn is multiplied with t. This t I am sending this side. So Cn into t is equal to integral small t is equal to, because t is tending to infinity, small t is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity, and because of this one now I have already represented, it is xt of t and it is becoming x of t by taking t is tending to infinity. So here now x of t is there, e power minus j, this n omega naught is becoming omega, continuous variable. So in this way we got Cn into t. This is called the Fourier transform, represented with x of omega or x of j omega. So x of t is the continuous time non-periodic signal or aperiodic signal. For that, the frequency domain representation using the Fourier transform is given by x of omega. So with the double-headed arrow we will represent like this, x of t, double-headed arrow. This one we got by the application of the Fourier transform on the x of t, that is x of omega. Okay, so particularly it is applied upon the continuous time signal, that's why it is called the CTFT, continuous time Fourier transform. And same thing is available for the discrete signals also, DTFT, discrete time Fourier transform. After that DFT is there, discrete Fourier transform. After that FFT is there, fast Fourier transform. So in your syllabus you have this is CTFT, that means continuous time Fourier transform. So from this time onwards, whenever I am using the Fourier transform, you by default you need to consider CTFT only, continuous time Fourier transform. Okay, so x of t, x of omega we will get in the frequency domain, and this is the formula, integral small t changing from minus infinity to plus infinity, x of t e power minus j omega t dt. Then we need equation for the inverse Fourier transform also. Fourier transform of x of t is represented with capital X of omega, and inverse Fourier transform of capital X of omega is nothing but x of t. So finding the Fourier transform is nothing but finding this capital X of omega. Finding the inverse Fourier transform means finding the time domain signal x of t only. Okay, so Fourier transform of x of t is represented with capital X of omega, and the inverse Fourier transform of capital X of omega is represented with x of t. So in this way you can able to write. Now from the Fourier series we can write x of t is equal to, from the Fourier series we can write x of t is equal to sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity Cn e to the power of j n omega naught into t. In this way we can able to write. Okay, so from the previous case what we have written Cn t is equal to x of omega only. So substitute this one here. So you will get x of t is equal to sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity. So Cn means from this we can write x of omega by t and e power jn omega naught into t, and t is nothing but what, 2 pi by omega naught we can write. So x of t is equal to sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity x of omega t is nothing but 2 pi by omega naught, but omega naught I am writing here, and remaining thing is e power jn omega naught into t. So already we know that this n omega naught is becoming the omega only, that means discrete variable is becoming the continuous variable. So this sigma is nothing but discrete summation, integration is nothing but continuous summation. So this sigma is also becoming the continuous summation, that is the integral. So what we need to do here, 1 by 2 pi integral omega is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity capital X of omega e power j n omega naught is becoming omega into dt. Because omega naught is becoming very small, this omega naught can be replaced with the small value like d omega. So this is nothing but from the x of omega we are getting x of t. Okay, so we are getting the time domain signal from the frequency domain signal. If you have x of omega, that means Fourier transform or the frequency domain representation of the x of t, by using that one in this integral you can get the time domain signal. This is nothing but inverse Fourier transform. Okay, so here I am writing those two formulas at one place. See here, x of t double headed arrow, it is capital X of omega by the application of the Fourier transform. So what is x of omega? It is the Fourier transform of x of t. How to write this formula? Integral t changing from minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. Here you see very carefully, we are doing the integration with respect to t. If you have x of t, by substituting here you will get the Fourier transform of x of t. How this equation is there, you see very carefully. Integral, we have x of t. Okay, so it is having the independent variable t, so integration has to be done with respect to t. So these limits also are with respect to t only. So t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. And if you see the inverse Fourier transform of capital X of omega, that is nothing but x of t is equal to 1 by 2 pi is coming in front of this one. Don't forget about this. 1 by 2 pi integral omega is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity capital X of omega e power j omega t d omega. Okay, you have x of omega, you need to get x of t. So 1 by 2 pi integral, because you have x of omega, you are doing the integration with respect to omega. So these limits also are with respect to omega only. So omega is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. This is the place for the signal for which you are calculating the inverse Fourier transform. So you need x of t, that's why here capital X is required. So capital X of omega e power plus j omega t. In the Fourier transform here minus is available, in the inverse Fourier transform here plus is available, like what we have seen for the Fourier series. In the Fourier series also, if you see x of t is equal to sigma n is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity Cn e power plus jn omega naught t is there. And in case of Cn formula, like this, in case of Cn formula, you will have 1 by t integral 1 by t integral t is changing from minus t by 2 to plus t by 2, or over one integral over one period we have to do that one into x of t e power minus j omega naught t dt, like that it will be there. So minus is there for the spectrum and plus is there for the time domain signal. So in this way we can able to take these two formulas. These are the basic formulas for the Fourier transform. So if you have time domain signal like x of t, you can get x of omega like this. Or if you have x of omega, you can get time domain signal like this. These are the two basic formulas of the Fourier transform. So now we have derived the equations for the Fourier transform like x of omega and inverse Fourier transform, that is x of t, by using the Fourier series only. So we have taken one continuous signal, we converted into the, we have taken one continuous periodic signal, we have converted into the aperiodic signal, continuous aperiodic signal by taking capital T is tending to infinity. With that point we have started and we got these two formulas. Existence of Fourier transform, like Dirichlet conditions what we have seen in the Fourier series, the same thing is there. Our signal has to be absolutely integrable. Okay, our signal has to be absolutely integrable and it should have finite number of maxima minima and it should have finite number of discontinuities. Okay, and then now we will see some standard signals we will take and we need to find the Fourier transform of those standard signals. Okay, first one I am taking, that is the impulse signal, that is del of t. So already we know x of t is equal to del of t. Its definition already you know. Again I am writing here, del of t is equal to infinity when t is equal to 0 and del of t is equal to 0 when t is not equal to 0. Okay, and we have some formulas based upon this one. I'm recalling all those formulas here. So del of at is equal to 1 by modulus of a del of t. Okay, next to x of t del of t minus t naught, it is equal to x of t naught into del of t minus t naught. Next, integral t changing from minus infinity to plus infinity, x of t del of t minus t naught dt is equal to x of t naught. Just integrate this equation. This is constant, came out of the integration. Integral of del of t minus t naught means finding the area under the impulse signal, that is 1. Okay, is it correct this definition? This definition is not correct. These two values are okay only, but definition is incomplete. The definition has to be completed by taking this integral also. Okay, with this only the definition will be completed. The area under the impulse signal is equal to 1. This has to be mentioned in the definition of the continuous time impulse signal. So what is the definition of the impulse signal? Del of t is equal to infinity when t is equal to 0. Del of t is equal to 0 when t is not equal to 0. And you should mention this one also compulsory. Then only the definition will be completed. That is integral t changing from minus infinity to plus infinity, del of t dt is equal to 1. Next, so these are the known things for us about the impulse signal. Now we need to find the Fourier transform for that one. So for that what we need to do? I know that x of t, if you apply the Fourier transform on this one, you will get x of omega. So I need to get here x of omega, or the Fourier transform of del of t is equal to x of omega. What is the formula for that one? Integral minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So what is our x of t in this problem? Del of t is our x of t. So it is equal to, I am substituting that one, integral t changing from minus infinity to plus infinity, del of t e power minus j omega t dt. Now this integral we have to solve. So this is exactly looking like this particular formula. If you see this one, this equation is looking like this equation. Integral t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. In place of del of t, here also del of t is there, del of t minus t naught. So if you compare these two, you will get t naught is equal to 0 and x of t is nothing but e power minus j omega t. So by comparing this one, the answer is what? E power minus j omega into t naught we have to write, but in this case t naught is equal to 0, that means e power minus j omega 0, that is e power 0, that is equal to 1 you will get. So Fourier transform is 1 for which signal? Del of t. So finally we got now del of t is having the Fourier transform is 1. Not only Fourier transform, if you take other transforms like Laplace transform also, for the impulse function the Fourier transform or the Laplace function Laplace transform is 1 only. So any transform of the impulse signal is 1. So next signal is a shifted impulse function. Now we have taken del of t. Here del of t we have taken. The shifted impulse function is represented with del of t minus t naught or del of t plus t naught. For the del of t, we got the Fourier transform is 1. Now we need to get del of t minus t naught. For this one, what is the Fourier transform that we need to find? Okay, so I am taking the integral formula again. Fourier transform of x of t is x of omega, that is equal to integral t is from minus infinity to plus infinity, x of t e power minus j omega t dt. Okay, and it is equal to, I need to find the Fourier transform for now. What is my signal? Del of t minus t naught, del of t minus t naught into e power minus j omega t dt. This is the Fourier transform for which signal? Del of t minus t naught. Okay, now again this formula has to be compared with, this equation has to be compared with the formula integral t changing from minus infinity to plus infinity, x of t e power, sorry, x of t del of t minus t naught into dt is equal to, what is the answer for this one? X of t naught. So compare this integral with this equation. So you will get integral t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. In place of x of t, what is there? E power minus j omega t is there, and del of t minus t naught, here also del of t minus t naught is there. So by comparing these two, you will get answer is x of t naught. That means in place of this one, wherever t is there, we have to replace with t naught. That is, answer is e power minus j omega t naught. Oh, this is a Fourier transform. So del of t is having the Fourier transform 1. Del of t minus t naught is having the Fourier transform e power minus j omega t naught. Okay, now you try for del of t plus t naught. So if you try, you will get e power plus j omega t naught. Okay, these are the formulas you have to remember. By practice, you will get all these things. So del of t is having the Fourier transform is 1. Del of t minus t naught is having the Fourier transform e power minus j omega t naught. And del of t plus t naught is having the Fourier transform e power plus j omega t naught. Okay, so by seeing this one, we can able to observe one thing. Del of t having the Fourier transform 1. Del of t minus t naught is having the Fourier transform 1 into, you can take like this. Okay, 1 into e power minus j omega t naught. That means because of the del, 1 is the Fourier transform, but because of the time shifting, here you are getting exponential. It is like Fourier series property only. In case of Fourier series also, we have taken the time shifting property. Because of the shifting in time domain, we got exponentials in the frequency domain. Same property can be applicable here also. So shifting is there in the time domain as compared to del of t. What is the change you are observing in the del of t minus t naught? It is a time shifting. So because of the shifting in the time domain, you are getting exponential terms. Because of the del, you are getting 1. Because of the minus t naught, you are getting exponential. Minus is there, minus here also. Okay, and here also same thing. Here also you are observing the time shifting. That's why here you are getting exponential. Plus t naught, that's why power is plus you are getting. Okay, then single-sided real exponential signal e power minus at u of t. Now my signal is x of t is equal to time domain signal is e power minus at u of t. For this one, I need to find the Fourier transform. Okay, so I am writing the Fourier transform formula. X of t double-headed arrow. By the application of the Fourier transform, you will get capital X of omega, and that is equal to integral t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So my signal is x of t, that is e power minus at u of t. If you draw this signal, you will get some idea about this one. So with respect to time, I have to draw any content is or any information is multiplied with the unit step signal. What is the meaning of that one? This entire thing will become the right sided part only, because u of t is available only on right side. U of t is equal to 1 when t is greater than 0, and u of t is equal to 0 when t is less than 0. Okay, so the left side part of e power minus at will be multiplied with 0 of the u of t. That's why we get 0 only. Okay, the right side part of the e power minus at will be multiplied with the amplitude 1 of the u of t. So you will get the same thing as e power minus at only on right side. So the characteristics of the e power minus at will be same when you multiply u of t on right side, but the characteristics of the e power minus at will be nullified to 0 when you multiply with u of t. So any signal, if you multiply with u of t, that signal will become the right sided signal. Okay, so now what will happen? Left side is 0. By default, we can able to write that one. At t is equal to 0, e power 0 is 1. Next, when t is you are increasing the t value on right side by assuming this is a is greater than 0. That means some positive value you are taking. So e power minus is some positive number, and again t is also positive only here. Then all these values are lesser than the previous values only, you will get like this. Then it is exponentially decreasing signal by taking a is greater than 0. Okay, a is positive. So this is the nature of the signal. So the signal is having the non-zero amplitude from where to where? 0 to infinity. Okay, so left side it is 0. Okay, so but in the Fourier transform formula, you have the integral from minus infinity to plus infinity. This part, this integral can be split into two integrals. One is from minus infinity to 0, and second integration is from 0 to infinity. But in this part, when t is taking from minus infinity to 0, the x of t is becoming 0 only. Left side it is 0 from minus infinity to 0. So no need to do the integration here. Okay, but here you have the same signal only. Okay, signal nature is available. So here you need to write e power minus at. U of t value is 1 on right side, because we are doing the integration here on right side only. So u of t is 1 only. No need to write that one. So from the formula, now x of t is written here. Next, from the Fourier transform formula, what is the remaining thing? E power minus j omega t dt. Okay, so this is first time I have written like this. That is, I have splitted this integral from minus infinity to 0 plus one more integral, that is from 0 to infinity. Okay, from next time onwards I will not write two integrals, so directly I will write. Okay, whenever the signal is multiplied with u of t, that signal is becoming the right sided signal, so no need to do the integration on the left side because already the amplitude is 0. Okay, so that's why this t is from minus infinity to plus infinity can be written only from the, we can do the integration only on the right side, that is when t is changing from 0 to infinity only. Okay, so now this part is 0. Now remaining thing is this one, that is integral t is changing from 0 to infinity e power, bases are equal, powers will be added by taking minus t as common, e power minus of a plus j omega into t dt. Okay, it is like e power x, integration e power x with respect to x means e power x only, so it is equal to e power minus of a plus j omega t. Okay, next what is the derivation of this one? This power minus 1 by a plus, sorry, what is the derivation of this one? Means minus of a plus j omega, that I am writing in the denominator like this. Next, minus 1 by a plus j omega e power minus of a plus j omega into t, and limits are 0 to infinity. Substitution of this limits is also very important, so listen carefully. So what we got here? Minus 1 by a plus j omega. So why this a is greater than 0? Why that is important means the importance of taking a is greater than 0 you will understand here. Here upper limit is infinity, so e power minus a plus j omega into infinity. You forget about j omega, e power minus a into infinity. That means e power a is positive here. Okay, so positive number into infinity means you will get infinity. E power minus infinity means 0. So by substituting the upper limit you will get 0 minus. By substituting the lower limit e power 0 is 1. So like this you will get. But whenever a is negative here, if a is negative, that is a negative, minus sign is there, minus into minus will be plus, so e power plus infinity you will get by substituting the upper limit. So e power plus infinity means here you will get infinity. So that compulsory we should have here a is the positive number. So e power minus a t u of t, when a is greater than 0, then only this whatever the Fourier transform we are getting here, that is valid. That is minus into minus will be plus 1 by a plus j omega. This 1 by a plus j omega will be valid whenever a is greater than 0 only. Okay, you should not get to Fourier transform finally infinity. You should get some representation, some finite values. You should get like this. Finite representation you should get. So finally what we got here, e power minus a t u of t, where a is greater than 0 is having the Fourier transform 1 by a plus j omega. This is the Fourier transform pair. This one you have to remember. Okay, so all the standard signals you have to remember like this. Now next one, double sided real exponential signal e power a modulus of t. So here x of t is nothing but e power a modulus of t. I think it is minus is available here, you take minus here. So before going to do this one, we will see the mod function definition. Okay, previously I have told about this one. Again you see, mod t is equal to plus t when t is greater than 0, mod t is equal to minus t when t is less than 0. This definition is important in order to do this problem. So first I will try to draw this one. So on x-axis time I have taken, this is 0. On right side I will try to draw first. On right side t is positive. So when t is positive, mod t is equal to t only. That means here we need to draw e power minus a t only. T is positive, mod t is equal to plus t when t is greater than 0. That means in place of mod t we need to write t. So e power minus a t over. When t is negative, mod t is equal to minus t we need to substitute. That means e power minus a and minus a. Sorry, minus t, e power minus a into minus t. That means e power plus a t. So this e power minus a modulus of t is nothing but e power minus a t on right side, and e power minus a modulus of t is nothing but e power plus a t on left side. This is the nature of the signal. But this left side we should take t is negative. Here on right side we should take t is positive. So when you take t is positive here, by assuming a is greater than 0 only, by taking here t is equal to 0 you take first. In both cases t is equal to 0 means it is 1 only. Okay, when t is greater than, when you are increasing the t value, what will happen? When you take t is equal to 1, this will become e power minus a. When t is equal to 2, it will become e power minus 2a. When t is equal to 3, it will become e power minus 3a. When t is equal to infinity, it will become e power minus infinity. That means it is becoming 0. So this e power minus 2a is less than e power minus a. E power minus 3a is less than e power minus 2a. That means you will get the signal is like this. And left side we will see. So left side means we should take negative values of t only. We should not take positive values of t. So t is equal to minus 1. Substitute here. You will get e power minus a. And t is equal to minus 2. You will get e power minus 2a. And t is equal to minus 3. You should get e power minus 3a. And t is equal to minus infinity. You will get again e power minus infinity. That will become 0. That means same values you are getting. So same thing you will get this side also. Okay, this is the graphical representation of the given signal x of t. E power minus a modulus of t means in this way you will have the signal. Okay, now on right side what we need to take? E power minus a t. On right side means we can take it is multiplied with u of t. Okay, so on left side e power a t multiplied with u of minus t. So this is the representation of the given signal. Okay, the given signal without mod function we can able to write using the step signals, we can able to write like that, and it is a graphical representation of the given signal. Okay, now I am writing again here. So x of t is equal to e power minus a modulus of t, and it is equal to e power minus a t u of t plus e power plus a t u of minus t. In this way the signal is available. Now we need to do the we need to find the Fourier transform for this one. So x of omega is equal to integral t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. And this one can be written like this: integral t is changing from minus infinity to 0 x of t e power minus j omega t dt plus integral t is changing from 0 to infinity x of t e power j omega t dt. So it is equal to integral t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity, sorry, minus infinity to 0. This is on left side. Left side what is the equation we have to take? E power a t u of t, sorry, u of minus t. U of minus t value on left side it is 1 only, so no need to write. So from the formula e power minus j omega t dt plus integral t is changing from 0 to infinity. On right side what we need to take? This one we have to take, that is e power minus a t e power j omega t dt. So this integral we need to find now. Okay, so it is equal to what will get here? Bases are equal, powers will be added. So e power a minus j omega into t will get. Here bases are equal, powers will be added. E power minus t if you take common, a minus j omega you will get. So 1 by a minus j omega e power a minus j omega into t, limits are minus infinity to 0, plus minus 1 by a minus j omega e power minus of a minus j omega into t, limits are 0 to infinity. So it is equal to 1 by a minus j omega minus 1 by a minus j omega, here minus 1 will come, that means here plus will come. So it is equal to, if you take LCM you will get a minus j omega plus a minus j omega okay. Next here a plus b whole square type we will get here. So it is a square plus omega square, that is equal to 2a by a square plus omega square will get. This is the Fourier transform of the given signal. Now e power j omega naught into t. So x of t is equal to e power j omega naught into t. For this one we need to find the Fourier transform. So in order to do this one, what we will do? X of omega is equal to, the formula is integral t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So it is equal to integral t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity e power j omega naught t into e power minus j omega t dt. It is equal to integral t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity e power j means here omega naught minus omega into t dt we will get. Okay, so generally we have previously we have taken del of t is having the Fourier transform is 1. Now when you have this 1 this side, then here you have 2 pi into del of omega. According to the duality property of the Fourier transform, we can write this one. And here you are getting the exponential means e power j omega naught into t you are getting means here you should have the shifting operation, that is 2 pi into del of omega minus omega naught. Okay, so this one we can able to get from the inverse Fourier transform formula also. So according to the duality property I have taken this one. Now constant amplitude, that means 1 we have to take. So for example I have taken x of t is equal to 1. We should have the Fourier transform for this one, that is 2 pi into del of omega. So already I have given previously del of t is having the Fourier transform is 1. So 1 is having the Fourier transform is 2 pi into del of omega. Okay, so inverse I will prove here. So x of t is equal to, from the Fourier transform I have the formula, that is 1 by 2 pi integral omega is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity x of omega e power j omega t d omega. This is the formula for the inverse Fourier transform. That means I have here 2 pi del of omega. I need to solve for the 1. That means 1 I need to get. So it is equal to 1 by 2 pi integral omega is from minus infinity to plus infinity. X of omega is given as 2 pi into del of omega e power j omega t. So 2 by 2 pi will be cancelled. This formula is looking like integral t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity del of t, sorry, x of t del of t minus t naught. This formula is having the answer x of t naught, but this is written in the time domain. You see here integral is with respect to time, x of t time domain signal, del of t minus t naught time domain signal. But same thing we can able to apply for the frequency domain also. Here integration is there, in place of t here omega is there, that is the change. Okay, del of t minus t naught, here del of omega is there, that means here shift should be omega naught, but omega naught is equal to 0 in this case by comparing this one. So answer is x of t naught. That means here x of t means we can take e power j omega t in the frequency domain. That means it is x of omega, where omega naught is equal to 0 means answer will become e power 0, that is equal to 1. For what we got 1? For the Fourier transform 2 pi into del of omega we got the time domain signal is 1. So 1 is having the Fourier transform is 2 pi into del of omega. And for the del of t, the Fourier transform is 1. Okay, then signum function. In order to get the signum function, we will take the help of the other signal like e power minus at u of t minus e power plus at u of minus t. We will take first x of t signal is this one. Okay, and I will try to draw this signal now itself, that is with respect to t. If I draw e power minus at u of t is having exponentially decreasing in nature, and e power plus at u of t is like this, but amplitude reversal is there, so it will be like this. Okay, this is the x of t signal. Okay, then what is the Fourier transform of this one? Already we have solved this one, that's why I am writing directly. So 1 by a plus j omega, and it is 1 by a minus j omega. Already we solved this one. Okay, so take LCM, a minus j omega minus a minus j omega by a square minus j omega square. It is like a plus b into a minus b. Answer is a square minus b square. That's why we will get like this. So here a will be cancelled, minus 2j omega by a square, minus is there, j square omega square. J square means minus 1, minus minus plus, you will get here omega square. So minus 2j omega by a square plus omega square we got. This is the Fourier transform for what? This is the Fourier transform for this signal. Actually they have asked for the signum function, but we have calculated this one. So from this only we can get the signum function also, signum function Fourier transform also. How means you make in this one, you make a is equal to 0. So what you will get? X of t is equal to e power 0 is 1. So 1 into u of t is u of t minus A is equal to 0 means e power 0 is 1, 1 into u of minus t is u of minus t. So this is nothing but it is a definition of the signum function only. Okay, signum function is looking like this one, u of t and minus u of minus t. So in this answer also, if you take a is equal to 0, you will get the Fourier transform of the signum function. So I am taking a is equal to 0, a is tending to 0, so it is equal to minus 2j omega by 0 plus omega square. So omega will be cancelled, minus 2j by omega square. This minus I am writing here, it is like minus 1. Minus 1 can be written as j square, 1j will be cancelled, so you will get 2 by j omega. So 2 by j omega is the Fourier transform of the signum function. So orally I am writing here. Signum function is having the Fourier transform 2 by j omega. So now we will see the Fourier transform of e power minus at u of t. Already we have calculated this one, but in addition to e power at u of t, u of minus t, I need to compare the Fourier transform of e power at u of minus t with the Fourier transform of e power minus at u of t. That's why I am taking these two together. So already we did this one, so I am taking the answer is directly, that is x of omega is equal to 1 by a plus j omega. Here a is greater than 0. So here also a is greater than 0, but if you see, the signal is looking like this one and the signal is looking like this one. That means it is the time reversal version of this one only. Okay, it is x of t, but here we have represented with a x of t only, but actually what is there here? This signal, you see the graphical representation, don't see x of t is equal to e power at like that, you don't see those equations, you see the graphical representation. This signal is the time reversal version of this signal. Okay, if you rotate this signal with respect to y-axis, you will get this one. Okay, so that means now we are going to see what in time domain, time reversal is there. What is happening to the frequency domain, that we are going to observe. So this is the Fourier transform of e power minus a to u of t, that is 1 by a plus j omega. If you find the Fourier transform for this one, what you will get? 1 by a minus j omega you will get. Okay, this one also I did. Okay, so previously. So in this case, x of omega is 1 by a minus j omega. That means in the Fourier transform of 1 by a plus j omega, what we need to do in order to get 1 by a minus j omega, just omega has to be replaced with minus omega. That means it is also frequency reversal. It is also reversal operation only. So if you perform time reversal, you no need to calculate separately the Fourier transform for the x of minus t. Directly you can able to write x of minus omega. So if you perform the reversal operation in the time domain, reversal operation has to be performed in the frequency domain also. Okay, if you have this one, okay, x of t and x of omega, and you need to have the Fourier transform of x of minus t. You no need to calculate separately. What you need to do, since already you have this one, just to replace omega with minus omega. That is enough. So this is the time reversal property of the Fourier transform, like that we can tell. Now I am going to prove this one. Okay, so time reversal property. Time reversal property of the Fourier transform. So x of t is having the Fourier transform x of omega, x of minus t is having the Fourier transform x of minus omega. For this one, proof. Fourier transform of x of t represented with x of omega, that is equal to integral t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity, x of t e power minus j omega t dt. How we have written this formula? Integral t should be changing from minus infinity to plus infinity, x of t. This is the place for the signal for which the Fourier transform is calculating. After writing that signal, e power minus j omega t dt we have to write. Now I am going to calculate the Fourier transform for x of minus t. Okay, so my signal is x of minus t now. So integral is required, t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity in place of x. This is the place for the signal for which we are calculating the Fourier transform. That means I am calculating the Fourier transform for x of minus t now. So I have written that one. So after writing that one, e power minus j omega t dt. Okay, now consider minus t is equal to k minus dt is equal to dk. Lower limit for t we have minus infinity. Substitute here k is equal to plus infinity, you will get. Upper limit for the t you have plus infinity. Substitute here upper limit for k you will get minus infinity. These are reversed. Now substitute here Fourier transform of x of minus t is equal to integral k is changing from plus infinity to minus infinity. This is the change you have to observe. Here t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity, but here k is changing from plus infinity to minus infinity. X of minus t, that will become x of k because minus t is equal to k, and e power minus j t is equal to minus k, and dt is equal to minus dk. Okay, so doing the integration from 1 to 2 is different from doing the integration from 2 to 1. So reverse will get. Okay, that's why I am changing the limits. That means minus we have to write. This minus is this minus, and because of the change of the limits, okay, I will get one more minus, so it will become plus. So x of k e power minus j, this minus I am writing for omega, so minus omega into k dk. Now you see the equation of this one, this integral with the integral of this one. Integral variable should be changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. Integral variable should be changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. Here signal x is there, here also signal x is there. You no need to bother about k or t because both are changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. So here x is there, here also x is there. The nature of the signal is x. So x signal is available. E power minus j omega t dt. Okay, this entire integral is written as capital X of omega. Why here omega came? Because here omega is there. E power minus j omega t. E power minus j, e power minus j. In place of omega, here minus omega is there. In place of t, here k is there. That is okay because k is the independent variable taking the values from minus infinity to plus infinity. T is the independent variable taking the values from minus infinity to plus infinity. This is written as x of omega in this format. So what we need to write here? Capital X of, in place of omega, minus omega is there. Okay, so this is the Fourier transform for what? X of minus t. So x of t is having the Fourier transform is x of omega. X of minus t will be having the Fourier transform is capital X of minus omega. So time reversal is equivalent to frequency reversal. Okay, this is the time reversal property. So that's what we have done now. So this is over. Time reversal property is also over. Same thing we can take as the frequency reversal property also. Both are same. Okay, again I am writing here x of minus t, capital X of minus omega. This is called frequency reversal also. If you do reversal in the frequency domain, you need to do time reversal. If you do reversal in time domain, you need to do frequency reversal. So both can be possible. Okay. Now if f of t is the real valued, then conjugate symmetry is followed by the Fourier transform. This is very important. Okay, if f of t is real, conjugate symmetry is followed by the Fourier transform. Same thing already we have seen in the Fourier series also. If f of t or the any periodic signal represented with f of t or x of t, if it is the real signal, then its Fourier series coefficient Cn is following the conjugate symmetry property. What is conjugate symmetry property? Conjugate symmetry property means this magnitude spectrum is even and phase spectrum is odd. That is followed by Fourier series as well as this Fourier transform also. Okay, so see carefully, x of t is having the Fourier transform capital X of omega. Now we will see first x star of t. For the x star of t, what is the Fourier transform? Okay, so I'm going to calculate that one. Fourier transform of x star of t is equal to integral t changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. I'm going to calculate the Fourier transform for x star of t from the formula e power minus j omega t dt. This can be rewritten as integral t changing from minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. This is star I am writing here. The conjugate I am writing here, but value is changing. So what we need to do? This minus I am writing for omega. Now value will not be changed. Okay, inside this one, what is there? What is there? That can be written as x of minus omega, because in place of omega here minus is there, and this conjugate I am applying here. That means what we got now? X of t is having the Fourier transform is capital X of omega. x star of t is having the Fourier transform is x star of minus omega, x conjugate of minus omega. This is same thing we got in case of the Fourier transform. Sorry, Fourier series. Cn is there, here Cn, C minus n star, like that we got. Okay, so this is the thing. Now what they are telling? They are telling the signal is a real signal, x of t or f of t, whatever it may be. The signal is a real signal. That means x of t is equal to x star of t. They are telling that one. That means the Fourier transforms will also be equal. X of omega is equal to x star of minus omega. This is allowed. Okay. In the time domain, in order to say the signal is real, the conjugate of the signal should be equal to the original signal. But in the frequency domain, in order to say the signal is real, the signal should be equal to conjugate of the signal and also the frequency reversal of the signal. That means after the signal in the frequency domain, in order to say that is a real, the signal should be equal to conjugate and frequency reversal. Both have to be even. We are applying those two. One is conjugate and second one is the frequency reversal. After application of those two operations, whatever the resultant we are getting, that should be equal to the original signal. Then only we can tell that is the real signal. So in the frequency domain, these two operations must be applied, but in the time domain, only conjugate is enough. Here we can tell the signal is real, or here we can tell the signal is real. Okay, now because it is a real signal, now we need to prove it is having the conjugate symmetry. How to tell it is having the conjugate symmetry means again magnitude and phase, those two we need to take. The magnitude spectrum must be even and the phase spectrum must be odd. Then we can tell this is having the conjugate symmetry. So for that purpose, if it is a complex, x of omega can be written as magnitude of x of omega, and it is having certain phase like this, that is represented with e power j. Okay, then now apply this one. X of omega is having magnitude capital X of magnitude of x of omega and e power j phase of x of omega. Okay, then because the signal is the real signal, x of t is real, so x of omega is equal to x star of minus omega. Okay, this one already we have taken. Now from this I am writing x of minus omega. X of minus omega is equal to magnitude of x of minus omega e power j into x of minus omega. Now you apply conjugate for this one. X star of minus omega is equal to, if you take magnitude for the conjugate operation or without conjugate operation, same magnitude you will get. So I am writing like this. But here because of the conjugate, phase will be changed. So e power minus I am getting. Like this I am getting. Okay. So now by observing this one we can tell, because real signal means these two are equal. Okay. So or this one is equal. This x of omega is equal to x star of minus omega. So magnitude both are equal. So with this we can tell it is a even spectrum. Only omega is replaced with minus omega, even though these two are equal. So spectrum is even. Now you take phases. So here in front of this one minus is coming and omega is also reversed. That means phases are having the phase spectrum is having the odd spectrum. Odd spectrum. So magnitude spectrum is even and phase is the odd. So that we can tell the Fourier transform of the real signal is the conjugate symmetry. In this way we can able to prove this one, and it is valid for the Fourier series also. Now Fourier transform of f of t is equal to e power a mod of t. So like this already we have solved. E power minus a modulus of t we have taken. So now the given signal f of t is e power minus plus a modulus of t. This one I am taking as e power a t u of t plus e power a minus t u of minus t. Okay, so modulus of t means we will take plus t when t is greater than 0, then you will get this one. Modulus of t is equal to minus t when t is less than 0, then you will get this one. Okay, so now I am finding the Fourier transform for this one. So I know what is the Fourier transform for this. I am writing now directly e power a t u of t. Okay, sorry. This is again minus only. Already we solved this one. So it is minus a. It will become plus. So 1 by a plus j omega, it is plus 1 by a minus j omega. So take the LCM, you will get the answer 2a by a square plus omega square, like this you will get. Next, linearity property of the Fourier transform. So already we have used this one. Already one problem we did that one according to the linearity property. Now we will see the proof for this. So for example, x of t is having the Fourier transform x of omega. Now y of t is having the Fourier transform y of omega. You are getting another signal. That signal is the addition of the x of t and y of t. So what is the Fourier transform of that one? Okay, for this new signal, what is the Fourier transform? So Fourier transform of x of t represented with capital X of omega, that is equal to integral t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. Similarly, I am writing the equation for Fourier transform of y of t, that is equal to y of omega, that is equal to integral t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity y of t e power minus j omega t dt. Now I need to get to the Fourier transform for x of t plus y of t. It is equal to integral t changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. Now listen carefully. We are finding the Fourier transform for x of t, that's why here x of t is there. Here we are finding the Fourier transform for y of t, that's why here y of t is there. Here Fourier transform for x of t plus y of t is there. So we need to find the Fourier transform for this one, that's why I am writing that one, x of t plus y of t. And this has to be multiplied with the e power minus j omega t dt. After writing the signal, e power minus j omega t dt is common. So this integral will be written for x of t e power minus j omega t plus integral again written for the y of t into e power minus j omega t. So first one is looking like a capital X of omega and second integral is looking like a capital y of omega. So for the signal x of t, the Fourier transform is capital X of omega. For the signal y of t, the Fourier transform is represented with capital Y of omega. If you add these two, the Fourier transforms will be added. This is called linearity property. Previously we have used already this particular property. So now again we will see by the application of that property we can able to find the Fourier transform for this one. So here e power minus a minus at u of t is one signal. It is added with another signal minus e power at u of minus t. So this is like x of t, this is like y of t. So these Fourier transforms already you have. So Fourier transforms will also be added. Okay, according to the linearity property, we have written this one. So the Fourier transform of e power minus at u of t is given by 1 by a plus j omega, and minus e power at u of minus t is having a Fourier transform 1 by a minus j omega. So by adding these two, we will get the Fourier transform of the overall signal, that is a minus j omega minus a minus j omega by a square plus omega square we will get. So a will be cancelled, it is minus 2j omega by a square plus omega square. So previously already I did this one for the signum function. Now if you take a is equal to 0, it will become the signum function Fourier transform. So why did I take again, in the sense, in order to say it is we are applying here linearity property. This function is added with this function, so the Fourier transforms will also be added. So 1 by a plus j omega plus this minus of 1 by a minus j omega. Two Fourier transforms have been added according to the linearity property. Now, if f of t is even, then f of omega is purely real and even. If f of t is odd, it is purely imaginary. The Fourier transform is purely imaginary, and if it is real, we can able to say that is following the conjugate symmetrical property. This one I have proved. Okay, and these two properties are also similar to the Fourier series only. Then Fourier transform of the impulse function, already we have completed this one. It is 1. Next, what is the signal which has all frequency components equally in its frequency domain? So what is the meaning of this one? Del of t double-headed arrow 1. So it is a frequency domain, it is time domain. In time domain, the signal is like this. So impulse is existing only at t is equal to 0. But it is having, in the frequency domain omega, it is having 1. That means all the frequencies are involved here. Okay, all the frequencies are involved and those frequencies are involving equally. So omega is equal to minus 100 plus 100 plus 1000 minus 1000. All the frequencies are involved in the function impulse function with the equal amplitude. What about the magnitude phase here? Phase is equal to 0. So phase spectrum is always 0 only, but magnitude spectrum is having the 1. So what is the signal which is having all the frequencies are equally means this del of t signal only. Next one, find the inverse Fourier transform of del of omega. So we have inverse Fourier transform formula x of t is equal to 1 by 2 pi integral omega is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity x of omega e power j omega t d omega. So it is equal to 1 by 2 pi integral omega is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. In place of x of omega we need to write del of omega e power j omega t d omega, and this integral is looking like integral t is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity x of t del of t minus t naught dt, that is equal to x of t naught. So I explained this formula previously. Compare these two. This formula is given in time domain, but here integral is there in the frequency domain. Even though we can able to apply, so here omega naught is equal to 0. By substituting in this exponential omega naught is equal to 0, you will get 1. So answer is 1 by 2 pi into 1, that is 1 by 2 pi. So what is having here inverse Fourier transform means 1 by 2 pi is having the Fourier transform as del of omega, or 1 is having the Fourier transform is 2 pi into del of omega, like this. Okay. So for del of t, the Fourier transform is 1. When this 1 is coming to this time domain, then in the frequency domain 2 pi into del of omega is there. This is the Fourier transform pairs you need to remember. Okay. Then find the inverse Fourier transform of 2 pi into del of omega minus omega naught. So again the same thing we can able to apply. So f of t is equal to 1 by 2 pi integral omega is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity f of omega into e power j omega t d omega. This is the formula for the inverse Fourier transform. Okay, so it is equal to 1 by 2 pi integral omega is changing from minus infinity to plus infinity. What is f of omega? 2 pi into del of omega minus omega naught e power j omega t d omega. Okay, so this is the place for the frequency domain signal for which we are calculating the inverse Fourier transform. So in place of f of omega I have written 2 pi into del of omega minus omega naught. Okay. So again the same formula we need to apply. Here 2 pi will be cancelled. So this omega naught should be substituted where omega is there in the x of omega formula, that is e power j omega t, where omega is there we need to write omega naught. So it will become e power j omega naught into t. So all these formulas I am writing at one place. You see carefully. Del of t having the Fourier transform 1 is having the Fourier transform 2 pi into del of omega. Now for the Fourier transform 2 pi into del of omega minus omega naught, what we got here? E power j omega naught into t. So here you compare these two. 2 pi into del of omega, it is also 2 pi into del of omega, but here minus omega naught is there. That means it is frequency shifting. So shifting in frequency domain is providing the exponential term in the time domain. Previously in Fourier series we have seen time shifting is providing the exponentials in the frequency domain, and in this case also we can able to see time shifting and frequency shifting. So shifting in one domain, whether it is time domain or frequency domain, you will get exponentials in the other domain. Here shifting we have done in the frequency domain, so exponential term you are getting in the time domain. But here minus omega naught is there, here you will get plus. Whenever you have like this 2 pi into del of omega plus omega naught, here you will have e power minus j omega t omega naught into t. Okay, and some people will confuse here whether it is omega we need to write or omega naught we need to write, or t naught we need to write or t we need to write. Here we are talking about frequency shifting. Omega is the variable but omega naught is the constant. So it is a frequency domain, so frequency variable should be available like omega. It is time domain, so time variable should be available like t. T is the variable, t naught is the constant. We are talking about here frequency shifting. So omega naught is a constant and omega is the variable. In frequency domain omega should be available and omega naught in addition to omega naught also, but it is a time domain. So t should be available. Whenever t is there, then only it is a variable, so it is the time domain signal. But this exponential is because of the frequency shifting. Frequency shifting by what amount? Omega naught. So e power j omega naught into t. Here also frequency shifting by what amount? Omega naught. So e power j omega naught into t. So general representation is e power j omega t. In place of omega, we are writing here omega naught because this exponential itself is because of the omega naught. Because it is in time domain, t should be available. Okay, so in this way we can able to take. And this one, this is a homework you can able to take. Already I have written for this one. The inverse Fourier transform is given by e power j minus j omega naught into t. For this one you will have 2 pi into del of omega plus omega naught. Now cos omega naught into t. What are the results we got previously that I am writing here? So e power plus j omega naught into t is having the Fourier transform 2 pi into del of omega minus omega naught. E power minus j omega naught into t is having the Fourier transform 2 pi into del of omega plus omega naught. Okay, e power plus j omega naught into t is having the Fourier transform 2 pi into del of omega minus omega naught, and e power minus j omega naught into t is having the Fourier transform 2 pi into del of omega plus omega naught. And add these two according to the linearity property. We can add these two. So e power j omega naught t plus e power minus j omega naught t is having the Fourier transform, and this side we can able to add by using the Fourier linearity property. 2 pi is taking common, del of omega minus omega naught plus del of omega plus omega naught. Okay, and these two we are sending this side, are divide 2 on both sides. So this is looking like e power j theta plus e power minus j theta by 2. That means cos theta. That is cos of omega naught t is having the Fourier transform. 2 will be cancelled, pi into del of omega minus omega naught plus del of omega plus omega naught. Okay, so this is the Fourier transform for the cos of omega naught t. That's what they have asked. So this one we have proved with the help of these two. So cos omega naught t is having the Fourier transform pi into del of omega minus omega naught plus del of omega plus omega naught. So in this cos signal, what are the frequency components are available with respect to omega? If you draw, this is the y-axis. At omega naught, you will have one impulse with the strength of pi, and at omega is equal to minus omega naught, you will have one more impulse with the strength of pi. Okay, this is the magnitude spectrum for the cos omega naught. Like that we can able to tell. Okay, frequency spectrum is equal to 0, like that we can take. Next, now sin omega naught. In a similar manner we can able to prove this one. E power j omega naught into t is having the Fourier transform 2 pi into del of omega minus omega naught, and e power minus j omega naught into t is having the Fourier transform 2 pi into del of omega plus omega naught. And subtract these two. E power j omega naught into t minus e power minus j omega naught into t is having the Fourier transform 2 pi into. So according to the linearity property, we added left side, so right side will also be added. So 2 pi, if you take common, del of omega minus omega naught minus del of omega plus omega naught. Okay, send this to this side, or divide with 2j on both sides. So e power j theta minus e power minus j theta by 2j, that is equal to sin theta sin of omega naught t. So it is having the Fourier transform. 2 will be cancelled. You will have pi by j del of omega minus omega naught minus del of omega plus omega naught. This is the Fourier transform for sin omega naught t. For cos omega naught t, what is the Fourier transform? Only pi is there. Pi into del of omega minus omega naught, plus will come del of omega plus omega naught. And sin omega naught t means pi by j del of omega minus omega naught. Here minus will come del of omega plus omega naught. Okay, now find the Fourier transform of f of t is equal to a. Already we have the Fourier transform for 1, that is 2 pi into del of omega. Just to multiply with a, you will have the Fourier transform for this one, that is 2 pi a del of omega over. For the constant signal, the impulse function will come in the Fourier transform. Now the Fourier transform for e power at u of t when a is greater than 0. So if you draw this signal graphically, because here u of t is there, the signal will be available only on right side. At t is equal to 0, e power 0 is 1, and as t is increasing, the signal will be increasing like this. Okay, so it is at t is equal to infinity, the signal amplitude is infinity. So it is the neither energy nor power signal. For this type of signals, or we can tell it is the unstable signal. For this type of signal, Fourier transform is not existing. Okay, if you do what you will get infinity, that you can able to check. Okay, so try to draw this another signal here we have given, that is f of t is equal to e into u of t, because u of t is there, left side part is 0, right side it is t. So in this way we have. Okay, in this case also at t is equal to infinity, amplitude is infinity, so it is the neither energy nor power signal, or it is the unstable signal because infinity amount of amplitude is there. If you try to get the Fourier transform, you will get infinity. That means here Fourier transform is not existing. So for the unstable signals, Fourier transform is not available. So for these signals, we will provide the Laplace transform. Next, magnitude spectrum and phase spectrum of x of t is equal to sin omega naught t. Already we have calculated this one, the Fourier transform of sin of omega naught t just now. Using the Fourier series we have to draw, and here magnitude and phase spectrums of x. Okay, same thing we need to do here, and the relation also we should give. So according to Fourier series we will see, and according to Fourier transform also we will see now. So just now we have written the Fourier transform for sin of omega naught t. I am writing that one. Sin omega naught t is having the Fourier transform pi by j del of omega minus omega naught minus del of omega plus omega naught. What is the magnitude spectrum means? So magnitude spectrum I am taking with respect to omega. At omega naught one impulse is there, at minus omega naught another impulse is there. So at omega naught pi by j, so if you take magnitude, that is pi only. Okay, next at omega is equal to minus omega naught, amplitude is again pi only. Okay, now if you take phase spectrum with respect to omega, two frequencies are there, one is omega naught and second one is minus omega naught. J is indicating 90 degrees, but that is there in the denominator. So the impulse which is available at omega naught is having the phase is minus pi by 2 because 1 by j. Okay, and the impulse which is at omega is equal to minus omega naught is having minus here, that means minus 1 by j. Minus is indicating minus 1 means j square. So j square by j means 1j. So 1j is nothing but here pi by 2 you will get. So phase spectrum is odd function and magnitude spectrum is even function. So we can tell it is allowing the conjugate symmetry. So with this also we can able to tell like that it is allowing the conjugate symmetry. Now these two spectrums we have given with respect to Fourier transform. Now we will see with respect to Fourier series. Okay. So this sin omega naught t can be written as e power j omega naught t minus e power minus j omega naught t by 2j, and it can be written as 1 by 2j e power j n into omega naught. In the exponential Fourier series we have sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity cn e power jn omega naught into t. So like this we will write now. So e power j n is equal to 1 omega naught t. So first term is over, minus 1 by 2j e power minus j or plus j, n is minus 1 omega naught into t in the power. So here this term is related to n is equal to 1, this is related to n is equal to minus 1. That means this 1 by 2j will become c1 and that minus 1 by 2j will become c minus 1. Okay, so in the Fourier series the spectrum will be given like this. N omega naught we will take and it is 1, it is minus 1. At 1 the magnitude of c1 will be equal to 1 by 2. At n is equal to minus 1 the magnitude is given by 1 by 2 only. So it is also even spectrum. Now phase spectrum we will take. So phase spectrum means what is the 1 by j? J means 90 but 1 by is there, that's why minus 90. At 1 it is having minus 90, it is plus 90. So if you take the phase spectrums with respect to Fourier transform and Fourier series, both are same. Okay, phase spectrums are same with respect to Fourier transform and with respect to Fourier series. But if you see the magnitude spectrums, here pi is there, but here 1 by 2 is there. So how to relate these two? If you multiply the coefficient or the phase spectrum amplitudes, magnitude spectrums of the Fourier series, that is magnitude of Cn with 2 pi, then you will get the magnitude spectrum of the Fourier transform. Just if you multiply with 2 pi, 2 will be cancelled, pi will come. Here also 2 pi, 2 will be cancelled, here pi will come. So pi is there. So we can convert this spectrum of the Fourier series into the spectrum of the Fourier transform just by multiplying with 2 pi. So this is the relationship in between magnitude spectrums of the Fourier transform and Fourier series. 2 pi into magnitude of Cn is equal to magnitude of x of omega. That is the thing. So Fourier transform of impulse train. Impulse train is a periodic signal actually. Impulse train is different from impulse signal. Del of t is having a Fourier transform 1. That we know. But now we need to calculate del t of t. Del t of t is nothing but sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity. Del of t minus nt. Like this it is there. If you draw this one, if you take n is equal to 0, only del of t is there. If you take n is equal to 1, del of t minus t. If you take n is equal to 2, del of t minus 2t. If you take n is equal to minus 1, like this you will get, So this is a comb signal, you will get like this. Okay, impulse train signal. It is called the impulse train signal. It is a periodic signal. Okay, it is a periodic signal. Now for the periodic signal, we are going to calculate the Fourier transform. Till now, whatever the signals we have calculated, the Fourier transform, all those signals are aperiodic signals only. For the first time, we are going to calculate the Fourier transform for the periodic signal, that is the impulse train signal I have taken. So before going to calculate only for the impulse train signal, general periodic signal I will take, and first I will give the general formula for the Fourier transform of the periodic signal, then we can able to use this one. Okay. So now, you assume x of t is the periodic signal. Okay, because it is a periodic signal, we can write exponential Fourier series representation for this one. And I am going to calculate the Fourier transform of this one. So in place of x of t, I can substitute this one. T is equal to Cn is outside. E power j minus j if you take omega minus n omega naught into t dt. Okay, so for this part, what is the Fourier transform? It is equal to 2 pi into del of omega minus n omega naught. Before that, what is there? Sigma minus infinity to plus infinity Cn. Okay, for this one we can take, you don't see this Cn is outside. For this part, what is the Fourier transform? This is like x of t, like that you can able to think. For this part, what is the Fourier transform? Means del of omega minus n omega naught. Already this one we have taken. E power j omega naught into t is having the Fourier transform 2 pi into del of omega minus omega naught. E power minus j omega naught into t is having the Fourier transform 2 pi into del of omega plus omega naught. According to that, I have written this one. So orally I will write here. Now what we got? X of omega is equal to sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity Cn 2 pi del of omega minus n omega naught. This is the Fourier transform can be applicable for all the periodic signals. Okay, this is the formula for the Fourier transform of the periodic signals. In order to calculate that one, if you see this one, what is required? Cn is required. Okay, if you know Cn, just a substitution of that one is required. For the impulse train signal, already in the Fourier series concepts, we have calculated the Cn value, that is equal to 1 by t we got. Substitute that one. So x of omega is equal to sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity 1 by t into 2 pi del of omega minus n omega naught we are using. 2 pi by t means that is omega naught, I am writing outside. Sigma n is from minus infinity to plus infinity del of omega minus n omega naught. So one thing you have to observe here, for which signal we got this this is the Fourier transform impulse train signal. So many impulses are there on time domain. If you see, if you try to draw this one, these are also impulses only. At n is equal to 0, del of omega. At n is equal to 1, del of omega minus omega naught means at omega naught you will have one more impulse. At n is equal to 2, you will have one more impulse. At n is equal to minus 1, one more impulse. So this side Coulomb function is there, or the impulse train signal is there, and in the Fourier transform also impulse train signal is there. But if you see other signals like e power minus at u of t, what is the Fourier transform for this one? 1 by a plus j omega. If you take the magnitude spectrum for this one, square root of a square plus omega square, if you draw the spectrum, you will get like this. And in the time domain, you will get like this. Time domain representation is this one, frequency domain representation is this one. Both are different. But only for the impulse signal, time domain and the frequency domain representations both are same. If you have impulse train in the time domain, you will get impulse train in the frequency domain. Or if you have impulse train in the frequency domain, in the time domain also, you will have impulse train signal only. Like this, one more signal is there. Only for those two signals only, the shapes will not be affected. Okay, for all the remaining signals, the shapes will be affected. Time domain shape will be different from the frequency domain shape. But for the impulse train signal and for the Gaussian pulse signal also, the shapes will not be affected. The Gaussian pulse in the time domain, if you take, in the frequency domain also, you will get the Gaussian pulse only. That we will see later. Okay. Now, Fourier transform of f of t is equal to u of t. For this signal, we need to find the Fourier transform. In order to calculate this one, we are using the help of the signum function. Signum function is having the Fourier transform 2 by j omega. Okay, 2 by j omega. Already we have proved that. So signum function can also be written as 2 times of u of t minus 1. So it is having the Fourier transform 2 by j omega. Okay. So we need for u of t. So I am applying the Fourier. Okay. What we need to do, this signum function we have written as 2 times of u of t minus 1. Apply the Fourier transform for this one now. Okay. So left side the Fourier transform I can write 2 by j omega. It is equal to, now applying for this one, 2 times of, we don't know the Fourier transform of the u of t, that one has to be calculated, minus, what is the Fourier transform of 1, 2 pi into del of omega. Okay, so in these two we can take 2 as common. So Fourier transform of u of t minus pi into del of omega. So these two will be cancelled. So here 1 by j omega is there, same this minus pi into del of omega this side. So Fourier transform of u of t is equal to pi into del of omega plus 1 by j omega. So this is the Fourier transform. Okay. So finally I am writing here, that is 1 by j omega plus pi into del of omega. Okay. Now for the rectangle pulse signal, we are going to find the Fourier transform now. So if you take this u of t plus tau by 2, how the signal will be there? It is a shifted unit step signal, minus tau by 2, minus how this signal will be there? At tau by 2 onwards it will be started. Subtract these two. So from minus tau by 2 to plus tau by 2, amplitude is 1. This is the signal. For this rectangle pulse signal, now we need the Fourier transform. So I am taking that signal like this, minus tau by 2, 0, tau by 2, here it is t, here amplitude is a. For this signal, if you do, you will get like this, a tau sine of omega tau by 2 by omega tau by 2, or sin theta by theta means that can be written as sampling function of SA of omega tau by 2. Like this we can able to write simply sine of omega tau by 2 by omega tau by 2, that can be written as sampling of omega tau by 2. Now we are going to prove this one. So for example, this is x of t signal. I am calculating x of omega. Integral t is from minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So integral from minus infinity to minus tau by 2 amplitude is 0. From tau by 2 to infinity amplitude is 0. So we need to do the integration from minus tau by 2 to plus tau by 2 only. So I am taking those limits, minus tau by 2 to plus tau by 2, and x of t value is a. Okay, e power minus j omega t is from the formula. A is constant, I am writing outside. Integral t is from minus tau by 2 to plus tau by 2, e power minus j omega t dt. So it is equal to a. Integration will be e power minus j omega t by j omega minus j omega. Limits are minus tau by 2 to plus tau by 2. Minus a by j omega. Substitute the upper limit, e power minus j omega tau by 2 minus e power plus j omega tau by 2. Multiply this minus inside, then you will get minus here plus here. So it is equal to a by j omega e power j omega tau by 2 minus e power minus j omega tau by 2. In this way you will get. It is in the form of e power j theta minus e power minus j theta. If in the denominator, if you have 2j, in order to cancel this one, I am writing 2j here. Now it is looking like sin theta. So it is equal to this j will be cancelled. 2a by omega sin of omega tau by 2. Okay, here if you see sin of omega tau by 2 has already come. So in the denominator also omega tau by 2 is required. So omega is already there. So instead of here I am writing here. So tau is required. Here you write 1 tau. By 2 is also required. Here you write 1 tau. 1 2. Okay. 2 will be cancelled. Here you will get a tau sin of omega tau by 2 by omega tau by 2. So sampling of omega tau by 2. Over. Okay. It is very important. What is the Fourier transform of the rectangle pulse signal means? That is the sampling function. And these things you need to remember. It is having the non-zero amplitude capital A from minus tau by 2 to plus tau by 2. That means that the pulse duration is of tau seconds. Okay, with the amplitude A. So what is the area under this rectangle pulse signal? Height is A and width is tau. That means area is A tau. This A tau area is available as the amplitude here. Okay, it is the area under the pulse, rectangle pulse. That is coming as the A tau. Okay. And then sin of omega tau by 2 by omega tau by 2 is there. So this one this is the sampling function actually. So whenever omega is equal to 0, what is happening? Whenever omega is equal to 0, what is happening means you need to take the limit function. So limit theta is tending to 0, sin theta by theta, it is equal to 1. How this is came? Means whenever theta is tending to 0, sin theta is approximately equal to theta. From this analysis or from this approximation, we can get when limit theta tends to 0, sin theta by theta is equal to 1. Whenever theta is approaching 0, sin theta can be written as theta only. So theta by theta is equal to 1. With the same thing, here whenever omega is equal to 0, so this is becoming its theta value, that is omega tau by 2. In the denominator also omega tau by 2 is there. So omega tau by 2 means those two will be cancelled. 1 will come. 1 is multiplied with a tau. That means this entire Fourier transform is having the amplitude of a tau. It omega is equal to 0. So the spectrum will be available like this. This is the sampling function. And what is the amplitude here means you can take a tau. And what values of omega, this amplitude is becoming 0 means this omega tau by 2 is equal to n pi you need to take, because sin function will become 0 at every n pi values. So omega is equal to 2n pi by tau. 2n pi by 8, every value of by taking n is equal to integers, we'll get at what value of that particular omega value, these amplitudes will become zeros, this side or this side. Okay, so this is the Fourier transform of the rectangle pulse signal. So here it is given, non-zero amplitude A is available when time is changing from minus tau by 2 to plus tau by 2, and its transform is given by A tau sampling of omega tau by 2. And if you observe carefully, area of the pulse is given by here A tau, the duration is tau seconds and with the height of A. So total area of this rectangle pulse is A tau. That A tau we can able to see as the amplitude of the sampling function, and whatever the width is there, half of that one will be available here, that is omega tau by 2. Tau by 2 is half of the pulse width.